Boiler is a vessel whose volume 22.75 liters or greater than that of that exclusively for generating the steam under a pressure which is wholly or partly under pressure, and mountings and other fittings will be attached to it. Now this is a cross-sectional view of the boiler. We call it the steam drum is the mud drum. So water will be inlet will be here. So by the gravity it will move to down, and the density difference in thermosiphon, the steam will be get moved to the steam drum. It will be the water flow, and the steam will be steam drum to superheater coils and will go out to our steam header. Air path will be like here. This primary air, secondary air, excess air, all will be like here only. So based on the boiler design, it may get preheated with this flue gas exhaust in direct heating, and it can come for the combustion. Oil line will be input to the burner. So initial startup, boiler will get purged out for certain time. After that, airflow will be continue, and then with minimum flow, the fuel will be get introduced with this ignition source. So we'll get proper combustion, and then flue gas will get generated, and indirect heat up will be there in the tubes, and the water will get steam, and then flue gas will get exit through this way through the preheaters or economizers, and then it go to the chimney. So now we see this steam path, water path, and flue gas path, and the oil path. Whenever we require the saturated steam directly for the heating purpose, so we can directly take it from the steam drum. We need superheater steam, we want to take from the superheater outlet coil. From the header, we can connect to the, can line up to the turbines. Saturated turbine also there, superheater turbine also there. Based on the requirement, we can line up. And for heating purpose, we have to utilize the latent heat of condensation, and for effective heat transfer, we need to supply saturated steam only. For superheater steam, we can get de-superheated, and then we can convert it into the saturated steam. This is also cross-sectional view of the boiler. So steam drum, mud drum, water wall tubes, downcomers, uprisers, fired wall tubes, we'll call this rear tubes and front tubes. And blow-down will be there in order to maintain the quality of the boiler water. We want to continuously blow down, because due to this continuous heating, so water will get concentrate, and then this conductivity, more conductive water we want to blow down by the continuous blow down or intermittent blow down. And chemical dosing will be there in the steam drum. Normally the trisodium phosphate, TSP in the steam drum, not to control the pH and then the phosphates. And in the steam from water inlet, we'll inject this disodium phosphate in order to control the dissolved oxygen content. Dissolved oxygen content should be very, very minimum, less than 0.01 ppm. It will help you a lot to avoid the corrosion in the boiler. So in order to find out the thermal efficiency of the boiler, why? Because the steam energy is the more costlier utility we are utilizing in the industry. So small steam leak also will contribute the major losses, major fuel losses, because each steam there is the energy loss, the fuel loss, and then the water loss. In the boiler, we are using the treated water. For treatment of the water also, we want to spend the pumping cost and the chemical cost for ion exchange, resins, or reverse osmosis, whatever maybe. We want to put the investment, we want to spend the operation cost and maintenance cost for generating the steam and the fuel also. So steam is the more costlier than the electricity. So we want to avoid or minimize the losses in order to reduce our operational maintenance cost. So how we can identify the losses? Definitely we want to check the performance. For that we want to find out the efficiency. Efficiency is basically the two types we can find out. One is the direct method and another is the indirect method. The direct method only be the how much energy we are taking out and how much energy we are feeding in. By that we can easily calculate the efficiency of the boiler. That is, what are the enthalpy and mass flow rate of the steam, that will be the output, divided by input is the mass flow rate of the fuel and calorific value of the fuel. Into 100 it will give the efficiency of the boiler. It is a direct method. What is the drawback in that? We can't identify the individual losses by this method. So we can find out easily within a minute, within a seconds, we can find out the efficiency of the boiler. It is advantage of this direct method, because only we need to know the steam flow rate. That will directly we can see in this control room or in the field, and then enthalpy of the steam we can take from the steam table. Calorific of the fuel we know, and then mass flow of the fuel also we know. So directly we can find out the efficiency. It is a main advantage of this method. And various losses we want to identify, then only we can mitigate the losses that we can't identify with this method. And in the indirect method, in this method, how we are going to calculate, where are the heat losses we want to first identify. Normally you see heat losses, definitely the fuel we are spending here, air we are supplying in that. Major losses will be in the air which is exceeding from the boiler, that the exhaust flue gas definitely will carry the heat content, because we are not able to utilize all the heat energy transfer. We want to maintain the stack temperature, that exhaust gas temperature. Why? Because there will be the flue gases will be there. So the flue gas sulfur content will be there. So definitely will get dew point and it will get condensed. So it will gas create the cold and corrosion or hot and corrosion. Now avoid that, we want to maintain the certain temperature. Based on sulfur content, we want to find out the dew point, and above the temperature we want to maintain to avoid the cold and corrosion. So exhaust, first exhaust. Second one is the, we want to give the blow down. So heat loss to the blow down. And the radiation loss. Because in the surfaces, whatever the insulation we put, after that also definitely there will be the temperature in the outside of the cladding insulation. So that we want to find out. And evaporation of water formation due to hydrogen present in the fuel. Definitely in fuel there will be the hydrogen form. Hydrogen will be there. So the hydrogen will be converted into the water. So it will get evaporate, and then it will dissipate the heat. So energy we are losing in that also. And then evaporation of moisture. In the air, definitely the moisture content will be there. So that also will get heat and then will convert it to water vapor, and then it also cannot pass through the exhaust. And then fuel also will have definitely the moisture. Fuel also will take the heat energy. So these things we want to account it. So 100% is the efficiency. These are the losses. So 100 minus these losses we add it, definitely will get the efficiency of the boiler. So let us calculate the efficiency by the direct method. So we'll give this simple example for direct method efficiency calculation. So we are going to calculate. Let's see what are the input we need. First, the steam mass flow rate. Steam flow rate. So steam flow rate is 37.5 tons per hour. And then steam pressure. Our outlet steam pressure, superator outlet steam pressure in bar absolute. If it is in kg, we can convert into absolute pressure by adding the atmospheric pressure. Pressure is 52 bar. Outlet steam temperature is degree centigrade. Temperature is 435 degrees centigrade with a superator steam. And then calorific value of the fuel, gross calorific value of the fuel in kilocalorie per kg. It is 10,550. And mass flow rate of fuel is 3.75 tons per hour. So these are the data we taken from the field. That is enough for us for calculations. And then enthalpy of the steam we want to find out. Enthalpy of outlet steam is 3278.44. From the steam table we can get it. It is a superator steam. So this pressure and then this temperature, if we take, it will come out. It is in kilojoule per kg, and it is important. So now efficiency is equal to thermal efficiency boiler is equal to, now efficiency is equal to thermal efficiency is equal to mass flow rate of steam into it is energy stored in outlet into enthalpy of the steam. It is in kilojoule per kg. It is in kilocalorie per kg. We want to take care. So it is in ton. It is in ton. So both no problem. Divided by input. It is fuel oil. It is in ton. It will get tallied. So it is in kilocalorie. So convert into kilojoule into 4.184. You want to multiply it. Into 100. Very simple. It is the efficiency of the boiler. That's it. 74.3% is the thermal efficiency of the boiler. In this we don't know where are the various losses. So we want to go for direct method for identifying what are the various loss. Just I'm rewind it. Find out the efficiency of the boiler. We need energy available at the outlet, steam outlet, and energy supplied to the fuel. So for that we need the calorific of the fuel and MOSFET of the fuel, steam outlet flow rate, and the enthalpy of the steam. It is the outlet pressure and the temperature. It is a superheated steam. So we want to check in the superheated steam table. So energy output by energy input. Output is MOSFET of steam into enthalpy of the steam divided by MOSFET of the fuel into calorific of the fuel. 4.184 is kilocalorie per conversion to kilocalorie to kilojoule, because steam is in kilojoule. That's it. This is also kilojoule per kg. Calorific also in kilojoule per kg, so it will get tallied. It is all transfer R, it's all transfer into 100. We'll get the efficiency of the boiler.